So we're here with Edgar Ferreira. You've just completed now 2 days with us in the London studio. You're a local guy, you've just come in from Croydon. I believe you were, or you are, architect. Tell us a little bit about your background, what you do and why you're here.
My background is within the IT arena. Obviously started off as an engineer, got into architecture, project management. Unfortunately the markets don't look so good.
Right. With the credit crunch.
With the credit crunch and so forth. So there hasn't been work since October of last year.
Is this the first time you've ever been out of work?
This is the first time I've been without work. I usually get headhunted. So now I would send away 5 CDs and not get one response. Which
So
to me it's
alien territory for you then?
it's strange. I am happy that I found you chaps. And
why did you start looking for foreign exchange? Because no disrespect, I mean, I'm always fascinated when someone who's been in a completely different industry suddenly decides, I want to be a Forex trader.
Well, the thing is, I have traded before in commodities, mainly oil. It didn't go the way I wanted, but it gave me a bit of experience in the trading. Before I would use a broker and like a fund management company that would trade on my behalf. And I would give them money, they would make money or lose money, so forth. But I've always wanted to trade in something. It doesn't necessarily have to be Forex, but because I saw your product and it was focused on Forex, it seemed like the ideal thing to do. And I wanted to do this for quite a long time. To be honest with you, I've been wanting to do this for about 10 years now.
So you've been needing an excuse.
I needed an excuse, and the excuse is I can't find work.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to be in this position. I wanted to save my £200,000 and say, okay, now let me try it. Instead of trying it with smaller amounts. Which I could have attained. I could have come up with that funds in not a short period of time, but it wouldn't take me that long. It would take me, I don't know, on a very good contract, it could take me half a year.
But now things have changed.
But now things have changed. I've started with a much smaller amount. Which in a way I'm grateful, because I had to learn the lessons the hard way.
So you're finding then you found us, you've been on the 2-day course, so how long have you been with us? I've seen you on our chat, you're very vociferous on our chat.
I started at, if I remember correctly, was the 9th of February.
Oh right, so very recent.
Very recent.
And you've decided already to come in for 2 days training. What made you do that?
Andy, I wanted to come in for the 2 days training after the second day I joined. When I heard about the trading, on the trading, I wanted to come in. Obviously, I took a bit of quite a loss on the first.
Well, everyone starts hopefully in your demo account though at the beginning.
And I had to make a decision. Yeah, I think it's worth putting the money forward and doing the training. I wanted to be on the first run of the training, but I took too long to think about it. I didn't click the button on the trade, so I had to do it at a lower level, which is the second part of the training. And it's been really good.
It met me and you went, oh wow.
Well, I need to tell you the truth. I've listened to your voice, but I mean, you've got a very kind voice when it comes to listening to you, and it actually is quite a motivating voice. And by listening to you so much, and JH, but listening to you so much, I kind of felt like I knew you when you arrived. It's kind of like, hi, how you doing? But hey, I mean, you've spoken to me. It's just I haven't said a word. I've been listening to you.
We do think that we are reaching a very good international audience. I mean, you are basically from where are you from?
Well, I'm initially from Portugal. I'm Portuguese, but I grew up in South Africa.
Right.
So I mean,
so you're getting
I
on
grew
well
up in
with
the same place as Skulk. Which is Squawk Box now. I keep on changing his name. But then I came to work in the UK and the US quite a bit. I've been in the US off and on for about 6 years.
Right. And now you're quite local to us. I mean, you're in Croydon. This is
Croydon,
South London, so very local. So that was easy for you to get to. What are you finding then? In our last chat with Susie, she was talking about how she's just taken to the different patterns. She talks about the pattern recognition, the tripod trade, and everything. You've only been with us from February this year. When people start talking about the tripod, you just heard Kashif going on there for a little while about all the different patterns that he follows. Is it blinding you with science, or are you picking it up now?
No, it actually makes perfect sense now. The way everything, the way it follows from a vanilla to a reverse vanilla to to a tripod, to a 66, it makes perfect sense.
You can follow that
I
circle
can
of
follow that
trading
very
that he's
easy
talking
now.
about.
And actually, it just kind of got to me now before we're having this meeting, on how everything's worked, because Kashif's just explained it. And I think I would take more of those trades now, because I think I understand it much better. I didn't take the time to go over those tripod and the blue to white. The blue to white kind of scares me a little bit more. Because you're looking at elastic, but you don't know how long it's going to stretch. So I'm not too sure if I want to wait for the elastic to stretch a little bit longer and be in the trade. But because I understand the whole process, the way it goes, it doesn't seem so hard anymore.
Well, I know when the moderators now, who I think are doing a phenomenal job, when each one of them brings their own unique descriptive way of talking about a grid, like just to use the example, I mean, you've just mentioned the elastic, and Sam always talks in Malibu about things have got to spring back, and Kashif talks about that something's bungee jumping too far away, it's got to come back.
Sure.
But I mean, Sam said something the other day when a girl asked him about the blue to whites, which you're struggling with at the moment. But she sort of said, "What are the dark blue colours?" And he just said, if you start seeing a currency move down too far, in other words, it's oversold, it moves into the very dark blue, expect that both the market and yourself have to come up for air. Now I think that we've got so many people now looking at this who are highly intelligent people, and then when they can explain and talk about their experiences of how they see things, then when they explain that to a new person, it's like a completely different way about talking about foreign exchange. People can identify a pattern because they're not now looking at charts. You'd never before have said, "Oh, this chart's got to come up for air." You couldn't see what that person was talking about. In a grid, do you find grids much easier to look at to get the complete picture than charts?
Actually, the grid, definitely. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I'm starting to get more and more confident with it. I think, like Kashif says, he just has to look at it.
And he instantly knows.
I'm starting to get more and more that way. I'm not saying I'm not at Kashif's level.
Yeah.
I don't think so. And it could take me a year, it could take me the same amount of time that he's gone through it to get to it. But I'm starting to understand that when you walk into it, you have to be short of something. But then you like he says, look at the 60-minute chart and look at the trend, what's been happening over time.
Yeah.
And that's basically the way I'm going to go. There's no news, it's ranging. I'm going to look for a good entry point. And that's how I'm going to trade.
So anyone like yourself finding that they're slightly disadvantaged in their career, or they've come to a turning point in their career, you would recommend that they would come to MoneyMap, come on the course, buy the product. What would your recommendation be?
I would recommend it. The thing is, there's a cost to it. Like anything, making money, or like you say, building a business, there's a cost. They have to have the money for it, and the time, the money to back themselves up, to have that initial 3 or 6 months with some training, because the training does help. Coming for the training, it makes a big difference when somebody's actually talking to you directly, and you can ask the question. Because as much as you respond to our questions on the forum or the chat, there's only so much you can do. Because, like you said, there's 200 people asking questions at the same time. Where in a class, there's 6 or 7 of you, you can throw questions at Kashif, and it's more like a 1 to 2 ratio. You get the answers,
Excellent.
Which is brilliant,
So you feel you've had money well spent for the last 2 days?
I've had money. I've made a little bit of money. Not the best way I wanted to. I wouldn't do that again, but I came out positive.
Excellent.
Which I'm happy. Hopefully I don't get a reputation because of those 2 trades. But I don't really want to be known as that, and nobody's ever going to listen to me.
No, we'll keep it quiet. You came out positive in the end, but you took a bit of a risk. We'll say no more than that.
But I'm not proud of it, but I'm just happy I'm out of it.
All right, well, thanks very much, Egg. It's been a pleasure to have you here. You've been a lot of fun, and you've been quite a character. So we'll look forward to getting you back on the trade room, and we'll talk to you on Tuesday.
Thank you.
Okay, cheers.
Thank you.